Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's Mr.BuyTheDip back here with another video. It's Saturday, 2:24 p.m. Markets closed, right? I wanted to reflect and look back at some good habits I build, and I build notes explaining my habits and what I did in order to get $1,000 invested at a young age. Okay, first things first, I grew this account from $15 all the way up to $1,000 invested. $1,000 is not that much, okay, even if you think about it, but it depends on your age. It depends on whether you're still in school, working a part-time job, right? So you need to start building a habit. First things first, if you want to be a good investor, find a way to maximize your savings. Okay, the more money you have, the more money you have to work with and put into stocks. My first investment ever was NVDA and Krispy Kreme. I didn't know what the heck I was doing, right? But let's go all the way back to December 2023. Okay, I bought $15 worth of NVIDIA, and I slowly started dumping more money into NVIDIA. As y'all can see, this is a journey, okay? I took it from December all the way down to May. I made my profit and got out, okay? I always built a good habit of realizing when to buy and making sure I was learning along the way. This was a learning moment, okay? So it's never too late to start. Okay, it's never too less, it's never too much. You can start with 100, you can start with 10, you can start with 15. Okay, now I made my first ever investment with just $15 at the time. Okay, I didn't have much money. Okay, and that's okay. I didn't have $500, $600, $800 to work with. Whatever I had, okay, you can put in with research and analysis. Okay, but I knew that getting started was more important than waiting for the perfect amount. Okay, I wanted to wait till I had $1,000, then invest. But then after research, okay, I realized that if I'm gonna wait till I have $1,000, I'm not gonna know what to invest in. I'm not gonna know how the stock market works. Why not start with just $15, see if I can make profit within the next 4 to 5 months? And I did that. Okay, now a lot of times you run into this, you run into this trap where you feel like your first investment is not enough, right? And you feel like you need to add more money when you see a little bit of profit. But what I did was I always made sure I was learning along the way. So while I'm adding $2, $1, $2, I'm watching YouTube videos. I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, and I'm just learning. Okay, now moving on, building a habit of investing. If you work a part-time job in high school, college, and you're learning, getting your education while you're working a part-time job or working a full-time job, you need to build a habit, okay? Since I work a part-time job, okay, I made it a habit to invest regularly. Now, I don't work as many hours, okay? I'm not a full-time worker, right? But let's say I work a part-time job, okay? I made it a habit to invest regularly instead of spending extra money, okay? I committed to putting some aside for investments. Even small amounts add up over time. I want you to realize if you take $10 to $20 even per check, okay, over the span of 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, you're gonna have small amounts of money that's going to build up, and before you know it, you have $500 invested. And after 500, 1,000 will come. Now the profits will come, okay? The losses will come as well. But you need to realize that your main focus first should just be growing your account and learning, okay? Now, prioritizing ETFs for stability. Now I have an ETF in here, that's the S&P 500, right? It is one of the most simple, one of the most best ETFs you can invest in. Tracks 500 companies in the US, and we are at $556. This keeps getting smacked down. This is the right time to invest in this ETF. Believe it or not, this is going back to 600, okay? I'm gonna add more money in this sooner or later, okay? I mean, it doesn't get better than this. 555, this was all the way up at 612. Okay, when people start saying it's a recession, market's not doing well, you have tariffs being announced, you have crypto dropping again, that is the time to buy. If you think that you could have bought right here in August. You could have bought right here in September, right? Well, guess what? This is one of those times where you have to buy. So prioritizing an ETF is very important, and do not miss a buying opportunity. Okay, so one of the key strategies was consistently investing in ETFs, which is exchange traded fund. Okay, these funds spread risk across multiple stocks. Okay, so instead of just going really heavy on NVDA, okay, I could put a little bit of money in Walmart and a little bit of money of my money in ETF. Everything is at a loss right now. I want you guys to realize everything is at a loss, but my dividend is still doing good. Sometimes your ETF is still doing good. Sometimes your long terms are doing good. Sometimes your short terms are down, right? The current state of the stock market is probably the worst it has been since 2024, and the worst it's been in a while. We saw Tesla run up to almost $500. Okay, I think it went above 400, right? We saw Tesla at like 450, 420, I think. Whatever the case may be, Tesla is not a $400 stock. We had a shift in that, right? We had a shift in NVIDIA. We had a big shift in Apple, right? So what do you do when you're in loss with those stocks? You don't just sit around. You want to make sure you have a strong base with the ETF that's going to grow now or sometime in the future. This is why I invest a little bit of my money in the ETF and guarantee it 6 to 8 months, we're going to recover back. It only took about 2 weeks for the stock to go all the way down, 2 to 3 weeks to 575. And this is going to take only about 3 to 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks for this to recover. Okay. Now, holding individual stocks, I also kept individual stocks, which gave me more control over my portfolio. I want you to realize it is not bad to invest in individual stocks, but do your research, know what you want to get out of each company and get out. I want to take Walmart to 100, 102, 103, then I'm out of here. Okay. Now, taking calculated risk with tech stocks. If you're a tech guy, you study tech or you like technology, okay? While I prefer stable investments like an ETF or long-term investment, I also took a risk with tech stocks. I say this because I didn't just blindly invest in it. I did research on NVIDIA. I realized they were dominant in AI back when I invested, right? They ran up a lot of money, and then I built a strong zone where I was just investing in NVIDIA consistently. I want you guys to look at this. These dots are all dots of me just investing in NVIDIA, investing, selling. This takes time, effort, and energy. It could be hard when you're working part-time job. You got homework you got to do. You got kids you got to take care of. But realize this is going to pay off in the future. This $300 I have invested could be $3,000. And in the coming years, 8 to 10 years, that $3,000 is going to be $300,000. Then from there, it's going to be $3 million, right? You need to realize the more you expand your capital, the more profit you can gain, okay? Now, the power of savings. Nothing is going to happen if you don't save money. If you are not disciplined, nothing will happen. Reaching 1,000 invested at a young age wouldn't have been possible without good saving habits. Okay, I say this because you could be 22 or you could be 17, 16, right? What you do with your money really depends. If you're 22 and you're making over, let's say, 1,000 in a week, you're getting 2,000 bi-weekly, but you're spending about 1,600, 1,700 on clothes, shoes, and you don't have strong saving habits, you will never reach even $1,000 invested. I guarantee the person who was 16, 17, 15, they're going to surpass you in investments simply because your habits are not strong. Learn how to budget your paychecks. But if you budget your paychecks, right? Let's say you want to do 30% invested and you want to do 40% saved, 20% for personal expenses, right? You don't have bills when you're younger. That's the best thing about working a part-time job in high school, right? You're living with your parents. You got 2 years to work. Save up that money. You get a head start and you get more knowledge by spending money on assets than anybody else, right? So before investing, I always made sure I had savings I could rely on. And also, all of this could crash. These are businesses owned by other people. You need to realize that the stock market is there. You have no input in the stock market. if you're not a owner, I can't control what the CEO of NVIDIA is going to do. I can't control what the CEO of Walmart is going to do, what moves they're going to make. So you need to realize, while it's good to invest, it is not your personally owned business. So having savings where you have money just sitting aside as a safe wall you can lean on, right? When your investments go bad, or when a certain stock drops 15%, right? You need to realize that is very important as well. So invest money, but also make sure you're saving money. And while you're saving money, you need to realize that it takes time. It takes time to build a strong savings. 10K feels good, then 25K is going to feel good. 50K is going to feel good. But while you're doing that, invest, and I always make sure I have more saved and invested while you're young. Okay? Then slowly, when your assets start to rise, you see more profits, right? Then you can start investing a little bit more money, taking a little bit more risk when you have 200K just chilling in the bank. Okay? Now, sticking to the plan, by staying disciplined and consistent, my investments grew from $15 to $1,000. Okay, I didn't need a huge paycheck at all. I just needed a strategy and commitment to investing over time. This took about 2 years, 2.5 years, right? But I think about really 1.5 years. But it took a consistent learning. Consistent learning and discipline is what can separate you from others. So you guys seen it all, okay? All time, I started all the way back here. And from then to now, the market itself has just been in a dump. All-time dump, I would say. We've seen a nice recovery start of this year, right? But at this moment, right, the stage we're in right now, this is the time to buy, or you're going to regret your decisions. So we're going to recover from here and have the craziest year starting 2026. And by the end of 2025, even, I see NVIDIA going to 160, 150, okay? Keep these things in mind. Grow your investment portfolio. Build some strong habits. Start building wealth at a young age while having strong savings, okay? Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Mr.